evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Paula Cook, and I'm a coastal artist. I live in Clonus. By the accent, I'm not local to Ireland. My husband brought me here in 2003 after we got married to meet the Irish half of the family. It was love at first sight. We went home, we sold our house, and we moved over six months later. So I'm here tonight to talk to you about my art, my inspiration, my conservation work that plays a big part in my art. So why do I do coastal art? The simple reason is because me and my family, we're just so passionate about the coast. You'll see through these family photos, even the grumpy teenagers break a smile, and just the inner child comes out and they go back to being kids again. You'll see my dog who follows me everywhere. And we paddleboard, we surf, we cliff jump, we snorkel, we rock pool, we walk our dogs on the beach. We spend an awful lot of time on the beach. I do 3 types of regular art. I do normal art, I do cube art, you'll see some of them downstairs on my display. Panel art, I also do sculpture, shell craft, and surf and wave art. The cube art, I came up with this system because it's so affordable. Not everybody can just afford to buy a big piece of art. So you can buy a small piece, have it on a shelf, build up your collection. It's expressive. The customer picks their own pieces, colour combinations, their own layout. You can see some of the layouts here along the bottom. So they become the artist as well. The panel art is very similar, but with the long pieces and the different sizes, there's a lot more combinations. You can do the triptychs or any combination along there. When I'm creating a piece of art, there's a few factors I consider with every single piece. Texture, you'll have seen by my art downstairs, I'm very big on texture. It brings in that third dimension. People always want to touch it. It's very immersive. It brings the artwork to life. It's also expressive. You can get the power of a wave or the weather on that day, something that the lens doesn't always capture. You can often express it in this artwork. Conservation is always important in all the materials I use. I like to use recycled materials wherever possible. Inspiration, whenever I'm at the beach, I'm constantly looking for inspiration for my art. You could paint 1,000 waves and every single one of them will be different. The tide comes and goes twice a day. The sun moves across the sky. The same beach looks different every hour of the day. And I paint what I'm passionate about. And I find when you're really passionate about the subject you're working on, it's always your best work. You've got all this inner passion, and you can really surprise yourself in what you can do. I like the sculpture work because I use a lot of the textiles I find on the beach and old clothes, anything I can get my hands on. It uses a lot of recycled material. I'll build a wireframe and then sculpt around it. There's no boundaries with sculpture. If you can picture it with the right materials, you can recreate it. And I sculpt what I'm passionate about when I'm on the beach, cleaning the beach and collecting the shells. I love the sea life, the starfish, the urchins, the crabs, so I do a lot of sea life sculpture and surf and wave sculpture. If you've seen the mirror downstairs, every single shell there was collected on one of the beach cleans. So I'm very passionate about the shell art because it reinforces that message of conservation. It's also such a unique medium to work with. Every shell, it's like a fingerprint, like a jigsaw. You can create a beautiful piece of art with them. So my art is mixed media. If you're a watercolour artist and you use a little gouache to get the white in there, that's a mixed media painting. You only need 2 mediums in there for it to be mixed media. There's no limitations. You'll see some of my work downstairs, the recycled net and all the different materials I use in there. I do use acrylic paints. I also use some natural pigments, some vistas, inks, anywhere where we can get that natural colour. You can really express yourself with the texture, the relief and the structure. When you're using mixed media, you can build up areas pretty quick. In the sculpture, I use a lot of textile and textile hardeners, and I like to keep my materials natural where possible. You can paint sand, but nothing looks like sand. So why is conservation so important to me? Everyone knows the crisis the planet's in. We've all seen the Sky News, the ocean rescue campaigns, and I feel it's my responsibility. I get so much inspiration and fun at the coast. I feel it's my personal responsibility to try and do something about this. The coast is also my inspiration for my art, so I need to pay back. Going to the coast, it's great for your health, getting out, the exercise, the vitality, the extra oxygen, grounding, just the connection with the sand and the sea. It's great for mental health and for well-being. And for our future, I want my grandchildren to rock pool where I did, to jump the same cliffs and enjoy the coast as I have done. Even if you absolutely hate the beach, you hate sand, you hate seagulls, sea, this still affects everyone. 30% of the fish caught off our coast last year contained plastics, 30%. As an average fish eater, it's estimated we're consuming 11,000 pieces of microplastic a year. So our own rubbish, it's now entering our food. 8 million tonnes of plastic go into our oceans yearly. It's actually 80 million tonnes. 40% of plastic produced today is single use. It's used for less than a day. It's carrier bags, it's drinks cups, it's food packaging, and this is the main plastic that's ending up in our ocean. It's the single use. So this is quite an easy thing for us to change by changing a few simple habits. Now moving back onto the art, how do I recycle some of the waste I find? And it's not just from the beach, I recycle wherever I can in my art. So this piece is called Caught at Sea, and as you can see here, that's fishing net I found on the beach. I love this piece because caught at sea, it's where the wildlife gets caught in the fishing net when they're dredging the oceans and the impact that has on the sea. This piece captures all of that. This is a starfish sculpture I did. It was quite a large piece. Some driftwood I found on the beach, a metal frame. Foil food wrap from 2 extended Sunday roast dinners was saved up and compressed down into that. Some discarded cloth and broken jewellery. Earth wave sculpture. This was recycled from a bed leg, a t-shirt from the beach, and again the driftwood in there. Ammonite charm, it recycles textiles, and there's also some sand in there to bring that texture to life. Time stops. This piece uses some metal parts. I found some small washers on the beach and some packaging from postal supplies. This is a sea glass Christmas tree. All the sea glass was found on the beach, and it's from one of my son's broken plastic sports cones. Wave Time, another surf piece. This uses textiles and there's some plastic in there, which is great to recycle. Again, textiles in swells up and nail packaging again. A surf girl sculpture. This uses a candlestick a friend was throwing out, and I grabbed that, and then some textiles in that. We built it up. Another candlestick. This is a wave rider sculpture, and again it's just textiles. Whispers of the Sea. This piece uses some crushed mirror. I love to use glass in the art. It has a real iridescent quality. The light catches it. It can look different from different angles. It represents water really, really well. Golden Sands. This was a broken Christmas bauble with the fake snow in, the plastic snow. I used that and some plaster rubble left over from another piece. I saved my waste scraps and I'll use it on the next piece. Soul Wave, this uses some broken jewellery, some toy netting I found on the beach, some rope, and again, the crushed glass. So I'm going to run through a gallery now of some more pieces. I hope you've seen the pieces downstairs. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask about them. A few simple changes we can make to cut down on our plastic use is to carry a travel bottle, and it's a real simple one. If you think how many plastic cups and Costa coffee cups we all use on a weekly basis, just carrying a reusable bottle and cup around us can really reduce that. Lots of the supermarkets now are bringing in vegetables we can pick ourselves with the net bags, avoid the plastic packaging there. And if you are an artist, hopefully this time tonight has maybe inspired you to maybe try a bit of texture and some different directions in your work. It's so expressive, the mixed media.
How long would an average piece be to make? What time does it take you to make an average piece?
Some of the smaller pieces I could easily do six in an evening when I'm in my art mode. Some of the bigger pieces would take a lot more. So that's everything from me tonight. Like I say, I hope you'll just think a little bit more about reducing our waste and the impact it is having on the planet.